Hello artists, this week we are creating another spooky project. In fact, this spooky project is going to have a really neat trick. So just pay close attention to what's going to happen today. Before we get started, let's make sure we have all the supplies we need. You're going to need, I always recommend a pencil. It doesn't have to be mechanical, it can be regular. Something black to trace with later. Now that could be a black Sharpie, or a black crayon, or a black pen. You don't need all three, just pick one of your choice. I prefer Sharpies, so this is what I'm working with. And you'll also need some washable markers. Now, Crayola is a really good brand for having washable. That means it cleans off with water, but a lot of other markers are washable too. And you know that just by checking. If you take a marker and you put it somewhere and it washes off the water, that's exactly what you need. Okay, so I'm gonna set those off to the side. And I'm gonna start with my pencil. So hopefully you have a nice big piece of paper and it's nice and tall like mine. The first thing you do is you're gonna take and make a line that goes like across. So it's like we just made a giant triangle down here. Now the next thing I'm going to have you do is we're going to make a couple more lines. And they're all going to come from like one spot. So I'm going to make this one a little spot right here. I'm going to mark it so I remember. I'm going to make one line that goes right there. Then two. And I'm going to make one more, three. And see, my lines aren't perfectly straight. I give them a little bit of a curve. Because what we're going to be creating is a spider web. And you're going to see why it's going to get a little spooky, and we're going to do some tricks. Now the next thing we're going to add to make this look more like a spider web is we're going to use a line, kind of like when you make a smiley face. Oh, let me use a piece of scrap paper just so you can see. So you know how you make that a curve when you make a smile? We're going to do the same curve. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. Now see, I'm leaving lots of big space between each one. I did 3 lines. So the next one, they have to touch. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. And then once again, 1, 2, 3. And that goes off my page. 1, 2, and then this one you can't really see. 3. I think I'm going to go ahead and add one more in here that you can't see. 1, 2, 3. So I guess it's 1, 2, 3, 4 lines really. Then go ahead from that spot. I'm going to put another one. It's going to be a little spider. And we're not going to do a lot of detail on our spider. If you want to, you're more than welcome to, but I'm just keeping him really simple for today. So I'm making him with a circle. And I'm going to give him about 6 legs. Yeah, I'll give him some eyes because I want to make him a little cute. Okay, so after this, what you're going to do is go ahead and trace with either, like I said, if you have a Sharpie, trace with that. If not, you can trace with either a black crayon or a black pen. Please do not trace with a Crayola black marker. They'll mess up what we're going to do today. Okay, this next part will depend on what supplies you have available. If you have markers, perfect. You're going to be able to do the awesome, cool paint trick that we're going to do in a few minutes. If not, you can use crayons or something else. Now, if you are using markers, what I'm going to suggest that you do, you're not actually going to color everything in. So it's going to actually be a little easier. What I'm going to suggest you do, and let me switch my marker here. I'm just going to take my marker, and I'm not filling everything in. I'm just kind of like making a nice thick line. Don't make it too thin. Like so. So I'm going to go in with all my markers, and I'm just doing this like I said, thick. Don't make it super skinny and tiny. I want a nice thick line because it's going to help us to paint later. Now, when you go to color this in, you can color it however you want. Just this can't all be one color. You have to change colors as you go. If you want to do a pattern, which is like repeating red, blue, I mean, that's cool. You can do that. You can go crazy with all sorts of colors, or you could do a rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue. But that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you which way you have to do it, because this is your project. So go ahead, start taking your marker, fill it in. If you're using crayon or just regular pencils, unfortunately, you're gonna have to color it in all the way. There's no way to do the paint trick if you don't have washable markers. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward. Alright, for this next part, what you need to do is find a little thing to hold your water. And if you have a paintbrush, that's great. If not, there's actually something else that you can use besides a paintbrush. You can use an ear cleaner or Q-tip. You might recognize this. You might need a couple of these because they get dirty pretty fast. So if you have these, you can use these to paint. And I'll show you an example. You take it, dip it in the water, and then very simply just go ahead and spread out your colors. See? And I'm going to go ahead and fill in the reds, as you can see. But it gets dirty fast, and you don't want to use this color on the yellow because it'll make it change colors. So you're going to have to ask your parents to borrow quite a few of these to do this project, but that's okay. It's all for the fun of art, and you get to paint. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. If you have Q-tips, go ahead and do that. If you have a paintbrush, even better. Go ahead and use that and dip it in the water. And there you have it. You have a spooky, colorful spider web. And if you feel like you would like to, you can actually add a little message in here. If you celebrate Halloween, you can write Happy Halloween. If you don't, you can always write, this is my other personal favorite saying, Happy Fall, y'all. Kind of like we're going south. My spider is from the south. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a little bubble. You don't have to do this. I just thought it's a cute little extra thing to add. So you can put your own message in there. That's up to you. But I do look forward to seeing your projects. So I hope you guys enjoy.